Chapter 3. Part 1. By the time I know it, we're driving through via Soldiers Field Road and Starrow Drive. The car is filled with silence as we head to our destination. Where is he taking me? When I look out of the window, I have my answer. IHOP. He tells me they have the best pancakes and I take his word for it. As we head inside, it's crowded and full of people and every single table is almost taken, being a Friday. The lady that greets us is wearing a waitress outfit with her light brown hair in a bun. She tells us they have one table that's open, but it's by the bathroom. Chris informs her we'll wait for another table and I thank him because I would not want to be by a restroom. While waiting, I can tell that Chris is getting impatient every minute that passes and I tell him to have patience. He doesn't listen and goes back over to shout at the poor woman for not having a table already. After him being rude to the lady, she tells him that they have a table ready for us and I apologize to the woman for Chris's behavior. She sits us in a booth by the window. I take sight of the beautiful orange and yellow autumn trees, watching as the leaves start to fall off. In no time the waitress brings us our menus. I notice the lady is younger than the other woman who greeted us earlier. She's about in her 20s, she couldn't be much older than me. She has the same outfit and has wavy blonde hair hanging off her shoulders. Her cheeks blush to a deep shade of red as she gazes at Chris, observing him. She has not once looked my way, not that I blame her, but can she be more obvious? She informs Chris her name is Isabella and asks what would he like to drink. I want to tell the impolite woman that I am here too, but I keep to myself since I do not want to start a conflict. He tells Isabella we will have coffee. I give him a glare of what if I wanted other drink. Chris, spotting me scowling at him, asks, What? What happens if I did not like coffee? I sneer. You don't like coffee? He asks, raising his eyebrows. Yes. But. He cuts me off. Good, don't be upset, I'm paying for it, he hisses. I would not want him to pay for me, so I add, you don't have to pay. I can pay as well. Well, since I invited you here, I will be the one paying for it. But He interrupts me again, no, I will be buying lunch today, end of discussion. He can be so irritating and I hate that he interrupts me. I sigh in defeat knowing I do not want to ruin our lunch together. Isabella brings us our coffees with creamer on the side. She asks Chris what he will like to have. This woman is getting on my nerves. I want to shout at her to tell her that there is someone else here, but decide against it. He orders for both of us and she takes our menus. Are you okay that I'm ordering for you as well? He anxiously asks. I nod in agreement. I hadn't looked at the menu once since we've been here. In a way, I'm glad that he ordered for me. Besides, I'm not that hungry and if the food tastes awful, I'll eat some and give the leftovers to my dog. While we wait for our food, he adds 2 sugars to his coffee, reminding me of my dad, who liked his coffee black with sugar. I prefer it with sugar and cream just like my mom did. Do you like black coffee? I ask. He stirs the sugar with a spoon and he looks up at me. Yeah, I have to be in the mood for creamer. Why do you ask? Just curious, I shyly smile. Why am I being so shy around him suddenly? He takes a sip of his coffee and I decide to change the subject. So, is this your way to ask me on a date? I tease. He chokes on his coffee and spits some of it onto himself and on the table. It was only a joke. I didn't think anything of it when I said it. I hand him a napkin. He clears his throat. Thanks. He takes the napkin and starts to clean himself, including the table. No, this is not a date, he huffs and I frown. I don't know why that hurt my feelings. No. I mean I do not date. What does he mean he does not date? Does he think that's a better answer? He continues. Well, I do not do the girlfriend thing. The girlfriend thing? What is that supposed to mean? I'm offended by his response. I am not jealous. I just don't believe he does not date or has girlfriends. I have always seen him around girls. In a blink of an eye, my words come out of my mouth before I can stop them. But I see you with so many girls. He laughs. Yes, but they weren't my girlfriends and I did not go on dates with them. I would only fuck them and they enjoyed it, trust me. They probably did enjoy it, even so, they perhaps wanted more from him. Still, all those girls that he had been with wanted to become his girlfriend at some point in their lives. I feel bad for those girls. And like he read my mind, he says. And do not feel sorry for them, they knew what they were getting into. I'm speechless. I do not know what to say to that, so I remain silent. As we stay lost in our own thoughts, I can hear everyone else's conversations all around us. Chris breaks our silence. Do you know a lot about cars? He asks. I nod. I do not want to talk about my dad. Every time I bring up my parents I start to weep, and I do not want to cry in front of Chris. How do you know about cars? He sarcastically asks. Does he not take a hint that I do not want to talk about it? Nevertheless, I do not want to be disrespectful. My dad, I say very quickly, and I am hoping he heard me the first time, that way I do not have to repeat myself. Oh. His mouth tries to form another sentence, but the words didn't escape. I guess he got the hint that I didn't want to talk about it. Decided to give him a little bit of information. Yeah. He taught me from the classic to modern cars. Now enough talking about me. I want to get some information from him. Where did you learn about cars? I question. Well. He's trying to gather the right words to say. My friends used to bring car magazines to school and I fell in love with cars ever since then. My best friend, Mark, also had a father that worked as a mechanic at Dillon's Diesel and Auto Repair. I went there after school with him, fixing up cars. I still do it now, however, I do not go as often as I did when I was back in high school. I can see he is flashing back to his past, remembering his memories. Mark moved away to college, but I'm still good friends with Mark's father. His father is more like a dad to me. He lowers his smile, making it into a frown. Did your father pass away? I curiously ask and I soon regret saying it. His face becomes full of anger and his cheeks are turning red. No, he's still alive. Probably my mom is still alive wherever in hell she is, if you must know. Now drop it. I do not want to talk about it. He yells. Gosh, he did not have to be cruel. I was just asking a question. I answered his questions, trying not to be impolite. At least he can do the same and not act like an ass. I don't like this side of Chris and I hope I won't have to see it again. I sense all eyes on us and when I turn around, I spot people staring. Chris notices other people are watching us as well and he gives them the fuck off look. When everyone stops gawking, he focuses back on me. Look, I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about my parents, okay? He says calmer than I expected. I nod in agreement, so I do not have to bring up the past anymore, and I wouldn't want to talk about my parents either. I can be a she-devil, but I will be the nice one here, for now. I need to talk about something else before we both start screaming at each other. Right on cue, Isabella brings us our food. It smells delicious, making my tongue water. Perhaps I am more eager to eat this food than I assumed. Not only does it smell delicious, but it also looks appetizing with scrambled eggs, 2 bacon strips, golden hash browns, and a side of fluffy pancakes topped with butter. I will definitely eat all of this. Purposely I do not say thank you to Isabella. After all, she does ignore me and only pays attention to Chris. Thankfully, Chris does not pay attention to her when she is talking to him and only looks at me. Inside I am saying take that biatch. I am not jealous, however, my subconscious tells me yeah, sure you're not, and I wish I could slap her. I pour the syrup and take a bite of my pancakes just to see how good they are as Chris proclaims. To my surprise, they taste heavenly. Good, right? He asks. I nod as I take another bite of my pancakes and wipe my mouth with my napkin. I am eager for him to answer the question that I had in the back of my mind. I hope he does not get offended this time. But I don't see why he should, because I'd agreed to come with him if he answers whatever I want. I finally get the courage to ask him. Why are you speaking to me now after 3 years when you never did before?